What's up, everybody? VX27 here, and I'm back. It's been a couple of weeks, and I told you guys in the first episode or two that I would keep to a schedule, and I haven't. So, that said, what have I been doing? What have I been playing? Most recently, at the forefront of my mind is Hellblade. Came out last week. Um, Hellblade, Senua's sacrifice from Ninja Theory, the dev team that took care of DMC, also known as Devil May Cry, for Capcom as their reboot title. Heard good things about it, and I think everybody was pretty excited for what Hellblade could bring to the table, or what they could bring to the table with Hellblade. And I probably would have passed on it, but earlier in the summer, I saw a write up on the PlayStation blog, and it was going to be $29.99, and it looks fantastic. I mean, it looks like a AAA game. It is a AAA game, no question. Just in terms of graphic quality, sound quality. I'll come back to that in a minute. The sound quality is really, really something special, and just the overall look and feel of the game plays really well so far, in my opinion. And yeah, the price was really, really striking. And I read a little bit about the thoughts behind Ninja Theory developing it, and they wanted to make a AAA game, but with a much more competitive price in mind. And I think they achieved that. I think that they did a really good job. Back to the comment on the sound design, without giving away too much. And I'm going to have some clips going on in the background while I talk, but I'll probably only feature clips from the very beginning, because if you haven't played this game and you haven't seen anybody play this game, I highly recommend you do. And when you do, be sure to be wearing some very good, at least decent headphones. The sound quality in the game and the sound effects are probably the standout part of the game from the very beginning. If you read anything about the game, it had a lot to do with, I guess they brought in some psychologists, and the upshot is that the character is actually, I don't know what the upshot is. Yeah, I'm still running through the game. I've defeated two bosses, Cert and Valravan. Saying that's right. Um, and it's her journey through hell, and we're dealing with Norse mythology here. And you get the sense that she is in hell, but is it all in hell, or is she just purely crazy? Is she in the afterlife with no return? It's kind of interesting. It's pretty fun. Anyway, a lot of the sound design revolves around the voices in her head, and it's very cool. It's very, very cool. I can't think of very many other games, if any at all, that relied on this sort of sound effects design. Pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, and it happens right away, so it gets you right from the get go, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I've been playing it. I played it. Let's see, it came out last Tuesday, and played it last Thursday, and then I played it again. I think I've only sat down to play it like 3 times. But each time I wait until the day is over, the sun's down, it's totally dark, and not a lot of sound outside, and I put on the headphones and just really immerse myself in it, and it's deluxe, man. It's a really good feeling. I can't speak to the quality of the entire game yet. I don't like to talk about how I feel about a game until after I've played all the way through it, but it is pretty cool so far. A lot of people are talking about it as if it's game of the year material, and game of the year, that's a stupid concept anyway, right? That's about as dumb as the pound for pound fighter concept, in my opinion. It's a really good game. Um, Games are so subjective anyway. Somebody who plays a lot of sports games may not find much interest in Hellblade, and someone who loves Hellblade may not appreciate all the things that the latest Madden has to offer, right? So that's hard to say. It's really good. Of all the games I've played this year, I think it's definitely, definitely a game worthy of purchase. I don't think I've played much bad this year. Honestly, I haven't played a lot this year, but everything I've played this year, I've been very happy with. So yeah, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice from Ninja Theory. I recommend it. It's really good. It's exclusive on PS4. Definitely check it out. Really good graphics, really good gameplay. Uh, Next to no heads-up display whatsoever. You can really immerse yourself in this game. Very cool environment. If you like anything to do with Norse mythology, I think you'll get a kick at it. All right, moving on. And I just kind of ran through this thing, but what's the day today? August 22nd. Oh, geez. Hold on. Let this pop. Yep. Tuesday, August 22nd, 10:07 p.m. It was probably just past 10 when I started. I don't know why I like to timestamp this stuff verbally. Makes it sound more professional. What's going on in the game world? It's been a while since the last episode, and since then we received our Injustice 2 update, the big one, right? This is the one we were all talking about, the one that was gonna nerf and buff a lot of characters, and it was the one that came post Evo 2017, and we all know what went down there. But yeah, I think that the I don't want to dive too much into the patch notes because I think we're all very aware at this point what they entail. But I like the fact that NetherRealm's establishing these character archetypes and they're making sure that those characters play that way. For instance, Deadshot is a long range fighter, and up close he's not as great, but from a distance that's where his game is. That's what he's got. That's what he's good at. Um, Characters like Bane, Black Canary, they're good up close. You got to get in close. A lot of people are frustrated by the zoning game. The zoning game is a huge aspect of Injustice, and it's been there since the first game. Um, you guys have watched me stream Injustice, as well as other fighters, Mortal Kombat X primarily, and a little bit of Street Fighter Five. Zoning is tough when it happens, but it has its place, like anything else, and there are options. You've got to learn all your tools and apply them, and it might not always work out, but I don't think any zoning was dominating necessarily at Evo 2017, if I remember correctly. So learn your character to the best you can. Meter burn roll. That's a good way to get across the screen. Anyway, more specifically though, Starfire has come out since my last episode, and she's rocking, man. She's a lot of fun. I haven't played her too much. I posted a day one combo video of her. Really basic stuff, but a lot of fun. She herself is pretty basic. I like that. I think that makes her much more of a pick up and go character for somebody like me. You guys know me. I like the big characters, less combos, more practical damage. That's what I like. But I feel like she's still got some really flashy, cool stuff. And most notably, her jumping three. It has the directional left or right. You can really get some cool cross-ups going with her. I like her. I think she's a lot of fun. I was saying initially that I thought that maybe she was the best in terms of fun factor of the first Fighters pack. But most recently, I played Injustice 2 with Ninja last night, and I really like Red Hood. Red Hood's a lot of fun. Red Hood's a lot of fun. The bombs, the shurikens, the pistols, the changing of the stances to fight with. Yeah, he's a lot of fun. I really don't care much for Sub-Zero. He's cool. Just not thrilled to have a Mortal Kombat character necessarily in Injustice 2. But we might get more, right? On that note, yeah, let's talk about what else is going on. Gamescom is going on this week, and I don't think I ever hardly follow it. I know that Microsoft announced the Xbox One X. Not they didn't announce it, but they confirmed the pre-order. Pre-orders went up yesterday, $499.99. I'll pass. I'm sure it's fantastic. I'm sure if they release games, not exclusive per se, but geared towards using and harnessing all of the awesome hardware under the hood, they'll look fantastic. I will not be buying it day one, not at all. Honestly, I think what they do need for that system to really spark some interest is exclusives. Exclusives sell systems, and I think that's the problem that Microsoft is running into with its Xbox One. Every line, whether it be the Slim or the initial console, and now with the Xbox One X, it's exclusives. And I think right now, again, this is subjective. It really depends on where you're at in terms of what you're playing. But Sony's really got a good hold on some exclusives that are, you know, people are excited for. You've got your Uncharted series. I'm not a huge fan of the Uncharted series, but I recognize it for what it brings to the table. Bloodborne, that's a big one. Granted, there's Dark Souls on both systems, but Bloodborne's pretty unique when stacked up against the Soul series, even though it pretty much is an offshoot of the Soul series. You got The Last of Us. You got a sequel to The Last of Us coming out that everyone's probably gonna be losing their mind over pretty soon. Once that train gets rolling, you've got God, what else? What else is there? So much stuff. You got Res, right? Res was exclusive, big PSVR title. Um, you got Hellblade, like I talked about earlier, right? Hellblade, and the thing with the exclusives for PlayStation 4, a lot of it feels like new content for me. I was a big Xbox 360 fan, and I played every Halo, every Gears of War, and I loved all of them. But at this point, when I got the PS4, I'm ready for new experiences. I want to play some new stuff. Um, I think Gears of War 1, 2, and 3 and Halo 1, 2, 3, 4, ODST, and Reach. I still have those, and I'll still be happy to go back and play those, but I'm not sold on the system anymore on the fifth or sixth iteration of the series. Um, Beyond that, at Gamescom, what did I just see today? Ninja shot this one over to me. Doom VFR. Virtual fucking reality. I love how they did that. Great marketing. Great. Um, yeah, Doom's an amazing game. Doom's been an amazing game since it was introduced, and totally changed the landscape in terms of first-person shooters. Right? It practically invented it. There was not much of a landscape to begin with. Anyway, so as I don't go off on a tangent, Doom 2016 was really good, and now they're bringing it to the PSVR. They might be bringing it to Oculus and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised. But it's definitely coming to the PSVR. It looks pretty cool. I had a conversation over on Twitter about this with Ninja, and I mean it's cool. If I had a PSVR, I'd definitely get it. I'm not sold on it. It's interesting to have the conversation with someone who's like real hooked on the PSVR part of it. I'm not as much, whereas my buddy Ninja is. My biggest problem with PSVR and VR in general is the constraints of movement because of the hardware. It looks like in Doom VFR, you're pointing and clicking to where you want to. They're referring to it as a teleport or a dash. That seems cumbersome, and I just can't wrap my head around how that's going to feel. And granted, I'm coming from the fact that I play Doom. Doom is awesome. I think that Doom itself is immersive enough. I'm still not very sold on PlayStation VR. I really want to get Arkham Knight VR or Arkham VR. Not sure how much I want to invest in PSVR in order to get that, but that's something I really like to experience. Everything I've seen of it is really incredible. I watched Ninja play through that. It's super short. I wish there was more episodes of it. But I think there's some great experiences to have on PSVR. I just don't know if those experiences should be trying to emulate what we already have. All right, next, what's going on? Injustice 2 again. Back to Injustice 2. We're supposed to get the Fighter Pack 2 announcement tomorrow at Gamescom. I'm guessing since this is in Europe, it'll probably be available by the time I wake up. So we'll see. I'll try to get some footage of that trailer rocking on the background of this video. You guys have probably all checked it out by then, but I like to throw that stuff on here. Who are we gonna get? We got Black Manta, pretty much a guarantee with a silhouette. I'm willing to bet if we get the Black Manta pack, right? So on the right side was a silhouette of what looks to be Raiden, pretty hard for it not to be, and on the left side was a silhouette of Black Manta. Again, unless they're really, really screwing with us. I think it's pretty safe to say that we're going to have Raiden and Black Manta. So with Black Manta to his left, there's a female. Safe to say that's Enchantress. She was in Suicide Squad, and yeah, I think that there's probably room for one more mystical character, and that definitely hits it on the head. The other character in that pack, though, with Black Manta, and who I'm presuming to be Enchantress, don't quite know. I can't quite put my foot in it, or put my finger on it, or my foot, for that matter. But talked a lot about this with Infernal and Ninja, and Infernal suggested maybe it's Quan Chi. It does kind of look like there's some garb being worn by the character that kind of looks Mortal Kombat-ish, man. Maybe they're going to stick a Mortal Kombat character in every single pack. Sub-Zero, Raiden, and maybe somebody else. I don't know. There were suggestions of Shao Kahn on Boone's Twitter page, but you can't trust Boone for anything. He's so happy to screw with everybody on Twitter. So I don't know, but we'll find out very soon, and I'll have to borrow that video clip from the trailer and get it on here while I blah blah blah, right? Okay, so what have I been playing? I talked about Hellblade earlier. I actually went ahead and picked up some demos of some games. I played The Surge. It's I can't remember who the developers were, but they worked on the game The Fallen. Is that it? No, that's not right. Legend of the Fallen. Gosh, I can't think of it, but it's essentially it's a very much a Dark Souls inspired game, and it's a futuristic style. So you're walking around and you're engaging in melee combat as you would in Dark Souls, and it's difficult as it is in Dark Souls, and it punishes you as it does in Dark Souls. But it's very cool. It's kind of a nice twist on things. Check out the demo. It's on PS4. I think it's available for Xbox One as well. But I'm going to finish up the demo and see how I feel about it. Maybe I'll pick it up on the cheap down the road. And on that same note, I kicked into some Bloodborne last Sunday. I still haven't played through all the DLC, so that was fun. I was running through it with a buddy of mine and defeated Ludwig. I think he's the first boss of the DLC, and man, his first part was tough, where he's just barreling through as this mutilated horse-like figure that he is. Second part was still tough, but not nearly as bad. It took a few tries, but we got him. It was a lot of cool. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Outlast. Once again, thanks Eagle Scout hooking me up with the Outlast Trinity release. I talked about finishing it, and I finally did. I still got the Whistleblower DLC to finish in Outlast 2, but it was maybe 2-3 weeks ago I finished up Outlast. Took me 2 sessions. Not real long, but short and sweet. I liked it. It stuck to the game plan, and it finished as strong as it started. It never drug on. It was good. Lots of good moments. I'll have to get to the DLC soon, as well as the number 2. Start stacking up those beaten game carcasses this year, man. I've got a list, and it's growing. Let's see. Was it? What day was it? Yeah, Sunday. I played Killing Floor 2. If you were a PS Plus member month before last or the month before that, Killing Floor 2 was free on PS4. And holy shit, that game was a lot of fun. I played a round of practice myself offline, and I did a couple sessions. You fight waves of, they refer to them as Zeds, they're zombies, but you fight these waves of Zeds, zombies, and it gets increasingly more difficult as you go through the waves. But in short sessions with a group of friends, you guys can have a lot of fun. There is just so much shit to shoot at, and there's this moment that happens when you get a special shot where things slow down in bullet time. It's fun. It's fun. A little bit of challenge, and there's a boss at the end of each set of waves. And yeah, I was having a good time. By the end of the second playthrough, I was kind of ready to wrap it up. That took about an hour and a half. That's kind of ready to wrap it up after that. But in short doses, a lot of fun, especially for free. If you happen to get it for free on PS4, PS Plus, um, you'll enjoy it. I recommend it. It kind of fills a hole where Left 4 Dead used to be. Not completely, because Left 4 Dead wasn't just a horde mode. Left 4 Dead actually gave a set of players, 4 players to be exact, an objective. You had to go from point A to point B, and between those 2 points, there was a metric shit ton of zombies, and you guys had to rely on each other. There was this very awesome team element where if somebody got knocked down, you had to go back and pick them up, but that meant that there was going to be more trouble for everybody, because then teams were splitting up to go help each other. Oh, the Left 4 Dead series is amazing. They really need to get, either at the very least, they need to re-release Left 4 Dead 2 on PS4 if they're not going to make Left 4 Dead 3. I really hate that Valve is just sitting on that IP, not doing anything with it. It's a shame. What else is going on? Yeah, so last week there was a really good sale. I follow Wario64 on Twitter, and I don't know what that guy does or what he's about, but he just spits out sales and deals all day long. That is what he's about, I guess, right? For video games and video game related stuff. I first initially started following him because I heard he'd be a good person to follow because of the SNES Classic. I'll touch on that in a moment. Yeah, I've come across a lot of really good deals with him. I try to retweet the things that I'm interested in that I see him tweet about. And he tweeted about a Seagate FireCuda Gaming SSHD 2TB SATA drive. Sound all technical when I say it like that. But I picked it up. It was $69.99, 2 terabytes, solid state drive. That's going to speed up your load times just a little bit. Shave off a little bit of time on your startup and for each game startup. Nothing crazy, but a little's a little, right? But 2 terabytes, man, that's 4 times the space if you're coming off of the half terabyte stock 500 gigabytes that the PS4 comes with. I never upgraded to a PS4 Pro. I may eventually, but even those are only 1 terabyte. Anyone who's looking to extend the lifespan of their original purchase PS4, or maybe your second or third PS4, and you're still rocking that 500 gigabyte drive, definitely keep an eye out for these deals. I mean, you throw even a 1 terabyte or a 2 terabyte drive in, it's a lot of space, even for these games that we're 3-4 years into the PS4's life cycle, and a terabyte or 2 is gonna make things less difficult when you're trying to install the games. I hated, every time I got to the point with the 500 gigabyte drive that I was having to uninstall games just to install new ones. And I got to the point where I stopped downloading demos to try out because of my drive space. That's why I was actually testing out some things like the Surge, as well as, I picked up Neon Drive. It's a retro 80s kind of tapping driving game. It's really interesting. I played a couple of them. It's pretty fun. But anyway, yeah, 2 terabyte drive in the PS4 now. It's rocking. I might get an enclosure for the 500 gigabyte drive I pulled out and use that as an external, or I might just try to see if I can unload them. Okay, so yeah, I brought up the Super Nintendo Classic. Before I jump over this, because I'm about to go on a goddamn anger tangent. Wario64 on Twitter. Wario 64, just like the Mario character, right? Wario, the opposite Mario character. Wario 64. He's in the game of tweeting and retweeting sales, and it could be dangerous if you pull the trigger on sales too often. Anyway, yeah, got 2 more things that I gotta hit before I let you guys go. The Super Nintendo Classic. I was playing last night with Ninja and Salty Throwdown. You may have even heard me while I was playing. There's this moment of like, oh fuck, oh shit, oh shit. That's because I was watching my Twitter, and Wario's tweets start tweeting out that the Super Nintendo Classic was available on Best Buy, and this is like maybe 10 p.m., 11, getting close to 11 p.m. Of course, it's sold out by the time I get on and look at it. And then overnight, I'm asleep, as is the majority of the United States. And those a-holes released the SNES Classic on pre-order on Amazon. A-holes being Amazon, I suppose. Um, while we were all sleeping. So of course it was totally sold out when I woke up. So that sucked. But whatever. There's still plenty of places to go. I figured that there would be like a Target, a Walmart, Toys R Us, a GameStop. Though I wouldn't buy a GameStop. Um, I might have considered it in this case. I really wanted one of those Super Nintendo Classics. Um, but every single time I'd get to the cart and I'd get just ganked every single time. It sucks. You guys have had it happen. You get to the cart, you've got like one or two items in there. You're right. You want to buy one, you want to buy another one so you can sell it. I understand. That's what I do. Um, there was even times I had just had one. I was like, just give me one, and it sold out. And the thing that pisses me off is Nintendo knows we want these things. And I'm telling you what, if they sold this thing for double the price it is, it's actually a really fair price. $79.99. There's I think 10 or 12 classic games, and compared to the Nintendo Classic console, the Nintendo Classic console has got nothing on the Super Nintendo Classic. The games for the Nintendo Classic were okay. I mean, they were pretty good. It was a pretty good collection of games that represent the Nintendo era. But the Super Nintendo Classic, those are some legendary games. They've got Super Mario, Legend of Zelda, Super Metroid, Secret of Mana. I think they've got Final Fantasy 3. It's Final Fantasy 3 in the West. I think we've all come to the point now where we probably refer to it as its real number. It's Final Fantasy 6. I think it's got. I could be wrong about this. It might have Chrono Trigger. That sounds wrong. Maybe one of those is right. One of those is wrong. Final Fantasy 6 or Chrono Trigger. Um, it's got Star Fox 1. It's got the unreleased Star Fox 2. It's got a couple of other really good ones, man. I mean, there's some solid games from the Super Nintendo era on this thing, and it's no wonder why everybody wants it. So I don't understand why Nintendo doesn't double down on their production. And I don't, like I said, make it double the price of that thing. We want to pay for it. You know, Nintendo has proven that they can be successful in this market where graphics and hardware power is not the focus. It's not their agenda. They want to focus purely on gameplay, and that's great. They've done it, and we want your old stuff that is still fantastic to play, right? We want your Super Metroids, we want your Super Mario's. So make more of it, Nintendo. Don't cut off the supply. And there's a lot of people that are going to go on the secondary market like eBay and Amazon sellers, and they're going to pay exorbitant prices for this thing. And to begin with, you don't need this thing in order to enjoy these games. You can get an emulator, you can download the ROMs, but the fact of the matter is, people like to have the quote unquote real thing, and Nintendo's got this awesomely cool looking, chibi style Super Nintendo that I want in my living room, and we want the official product. So make more of them, Nintendo. Don't make, a tenth of what you should have. Make more of them. Don't let them be collectible. Make enough so that we can all buy them. We want to throw money at you. Let me have the opportunity. Okay, that's it. Just had to rant on that one. That was my day watching all my carts of Super Nintendo classics go sideways. So yeah, last thing. I think this may have been announced at Gamescom this week, or maybe just during the week. There's been all sorts of announcements, but saw this one yesterday. Something I'm excited for, but now something I'm really kind of reserved about. Shenmue 3 trailer came out. I haven't seen what other people think about the trailer. I can't imagine it's very good. I watched the trailer, and Shenmue is a really good game. Was a really good game back in 1999 when it came out. I think it came out in 99, 2000. And Shenmue 2 was equally as good. It kind of came out on the tail end of the Dreamcast lifespan. God bless its soul. And it was awesome back then. It kind of predated a lot of open world games. I think it predated most of them. I want to say it came out before Grand Theft Auto 3, though I'm not sure. Either way, it's one of the earliest games that was an open world, and takes took place. I think the first one took place in Osaka, Japan. uh, and you wouldn't believe. I mean, it was like a spitting image of Japan. I mean, there's just so much stuff. Play through Shenmue, even the time period it takes place, and then go to um, that part of Japan, and I mean, it's a spitting image. It's really cool in that regard. It's just a good game. Um, that said, it was really good for its time. I don't know if I plugged in Shenmue today how much I would love it. I think a lot of things would feel very archaic. And to be fair, I think the success of Shenmue, the spiritual successor of Shenmue, can be found in the Yakuza series. And I think that has a really strong following, especially in the West. I don't think Japan was prepared for the popularity of the Yakuza series in the West. I know, what is it? Yakuza 6 is going to come out next year, and then there's another Yakuza game coming later this month, Kiwami, I believe it's called. Um, yeah, so I mean, if you're looking for the modern day Shenmue, that might be it. Because what I saw in this trailer was really rough, and I mean, I'm only basing this on graphics, but these graphics look like they're still in 1999, and that's not a good thing. It looks like the 1999 Dreamcast graphics. Um, Graphics are not everything, um, but the aesthetic was definitely not there, and the character models and movements really outdated. It didn't feel like it was made today. Um, so I gotta imagine they're getting beat up pretty good in terms of critical reception. I'm hoping the best for Shenmue 3. I hope the best for a lot of games. Usually, I'm always very skeptical about games, movies, media I consume, etc. But I'm really skeptical about Shenmue 3 at this point. Um, that said, if they come out with a great package for it, if they do something crazy like, hey, pre-order Shenmue 3 and you're going to get Shenmue 1 and 2 free, that'll definitely get me in. But if I can snag some of that video clip, I'll definitely have it on so you guys can check it out if you haven't already. All right, guys, that's it for me. Wanted to get on here and get caught up. It's been a couple weeks. Um, Had a good day, man. Had a good day. Got some good work done. Worked out. Felt the energy level. Came home. Said, you know what? I got to sit down and get a recording up and tell these guys what's up. This Sunday is Parsa HP's tournament for Injustice 2. He's doing another tournament. We're going to alternate weeks starting this week. The following week, I'll do one, but it's on challenge.com, CHALLONGE.com. Check out PARSA HP Parsa and come play some Injustice 2 with us. I think this was going to be a weekly gig. I'm helping him commentate, and it was a lot of fun last week. He did a really good job commentating, and everybody did a lot of cool stuff playing. Had some really good Cheetah players in there, man. It was fun to see. All right, guys, that's it for me. Signing off until next time. Tomorrow, Injustice 2 character is going to be revealed. Very, very excited. It's kind of like Christmas. All right, guys, this is VX27. Thanks for hanging. Peace.